Back in December, I made a call out to any movie reviewer to help me. Here it is. 2 years ago, I made a video called The 1981 Movie Scream. It's fucking terrible. It couldn't have been that bad though, right? Oh my god, it's fucking worse. 9 minutes into the movie, the fucking lights turn off and we can't see anything ever again. This guy sums up my reaction perfectly.
Is somebody going to say something?
That scene is preceded by 8.5 minutes of silence. Oh, not that there's no exciting parts. There are scenes of them standing around in the dark, drinking coffee. They sit around in the dark. There's even 30 seconds where everybody takes a nap. And who can forget the movie-stealing scene of Greg finding a hat? Oh yeah, this shit is 26 seconds long, and I'm gonna make you watch all of it. It's a horror movie. There's gotta be deaths, right? Well, yeah, but we mostly just find the bodies or they fall from the fucking sky.
It's Jerry. Mom's always get caught.
Hardly anyone talks in this movie. You can't see shit. There's only one on-screen death. Please, somebody, anywhere, watch this damn movie and tell me if there's anything redeeming that I'm missing. I beg you. Bonus points if you can tell me what the fuck was the point of the 3-minute monologue by the fucking sailor, who the killer was, or what their motivation was. Because I've seen this movie twice now and have no fucking idea. I had a lot of computer problems that delayed this review, but my friend TYTD Reviews answered the call and helped me out.
Did somebody say trash cinema? Well, as a British person, trying to maintain a veneer of optimism when times get tough is my speciality. As such, Raymond, this movie isn't as bad as you say. I found at least a few things that make this movie, well, not quite the hot one to watch, but at least the tepid one to keep in your eye line. First and foremost, the film was written and directed by Barry Quisenberry. And if you want some good cheer straight out of the gate, he only ever directed 2 movies, and he's dead now. So straight away you can be happy in knowing the guy never made anything like this ever again. He was also trained as a stuntman, and ended up both coordinating and doing most of the stunts for the movie Return of the Living Dead, which is a personal favourite of mine. I thought that was quite neat. Now, I'll get the more obvious points out of the way straight away. For the most part, the camera is on, it's in focus, it's pointing in the right direction. Also, I managed to source a fully HD 1080p remastered copy of this movie. Yes, that's right, someone actually paid actual money to actually get this film fully restored and remastered from the original film elements. And I found that in that HD print, those nighttime shots become significantly clearer in terms of seeing what's happening. Nothing's really happening, but hey, at least we can see that nothingness now. So that's a plus.
Here's a side-by-side comparison. Lights out on my side.
In terms of the cine, there are a few decent moments in this film. The location work around the mountainous areas at the beginning is quite nice, if not a little overly brown for my taste. Equally, at least one or two of the death scenes were quite well shot. I mean, they're no masterpieces in execution, but they're competent, and I'd border on saying almost good. They aren't all great, but in particular, at least the first couple I thought seemed more than decent. Another thing, while the cast aren't exactly memorable, they could be far, far worse. Everyone in this film feels like... how do I put this? Okay, you know the characters in horror movies they introduce in the first 10 minutes and then kill off as a way to both introduce the killer and grease the wheels so the audience are pumped up for more murders and carnage? Well, this entire film's cast is made up of those guys, basically. They aren't annoying, they're a little bit stupid, they certainly aren't interesting, they just sort of exist. My favourite character was the guy I affectionately referred to as Old Man Grandpa, as his role in the film right up until his, well, come to think of it, quite timely demise, was just to play the caring, if not slightly doddery old man stereotype. I loved him in this, and when he exited the movie, the quality, in my opinion, dropped quite significantly.
True story, we were messaging as he watched this film. The first message I get is, just started Scream, I really like the old man. And 5 minutes later, I get, Grandpa, no!
Okay, what else? Oh, the ADR. So, this film's basically 99% ADR, but at least the recordings are pretty much, for the most part, clean. I've heard a lot of ADR in my time, and a massive chunk of those movies tend to have dirty, crackly, or just awful ADR recordings. Here, it's crisp, clean, and actually for the most part matches the actor's mouth movements. So that definitely needs to be commended. There were a couple of things I picked up on script-wise that didn't quite line up for me. There's two guys on motorbikes who turn up randomly about a third of the way into the film claiming they got lost. The only problem is the film states that our characters are literally in the middle of nowhere and the nearest emergency contact point is at least 30 miles away. And that's just a ranch, not a city or anything special. Which did lead me to wonder how these guys got here, because even if we didn't factor in that they got lost, which would have wasted fuel, the average motorbike doesn't have a tank that could cover the 60-mile round trip from the ranch to the ghost town and back. I know that the original script mentioned that it was supposed to be dune buggies instead of motorcycles that they were driving, but frankly, that raises more questions than it answers for me. I also did like the initial idea of a killer using the ghost town's haunted legends to go around committing murders. I mean, it's very poorly executed, but it's still a pretty neat idea.
Is that what we were supposed to think was going on? Did not get that.
Oh, and I have an answer for your sailor's monologue question as well. So the guy was an ex-sailor. He came to the town and became the sheriff back when the town was still prosperous. The killer in this movie killed the sheriff in 1891 and was executed for the murder, but he swore vengeance on the town for killing him. And so he ghost-murdered the town before waiting for his next victims. When our gang of characters turn up to spend the night, it reawakened the ghost killer, but it also awakened Sheriff Sailor, who was determined to stop this from happening again, and to get vengeance on the killer. This is shown via a scene near the end of the film when he trots into town on a horse and literally seconds later a car pulls up behind him and he's gone. But it could also be seen through a portrait used at the very end of the film. As for why he has a monologue in the middle of the film, Well, it's literally just to introduce him to the audience and to show he isn't a bad guy. At a push, it might also make the audience realise he's a bit oldie-worldy, but to be honest, his ramblings about compasses were so boring I really struggled to pay full attention. But yeah, there's your answer. They needed a monologue because if he just turned up and killed the killer, it would have been a bit weird. Also, they're all ghosts, because reasons.
So you're saying that you liked it?
Well, no, this film's a total dumpster fire that I'll never watch again. But another thing about being British is a determined push for contrarianism. You know, someone tells me something's bad and my moral-bound duty is not to rest until I've told them, well, it's not that bad. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some climate change deniers to condescend. Take care.
So what you're saying is that this whole time you were fucking with me. That makes sense. I don't mind. Yeah, this movie is terrible. Like you said, it's no reason to ever watch it twice, which I, for some reason, have. I do look up other reviews just to make sure I'm not going crazy and missed a good movie. This is a 2.9 on IMDb, which means if it had enough reviews, it would be the 20th worst movie ever made. One of the reviews I found says, Scream, a sluggish horror flick that may well surpass Final Exam in the Forest, is the most boring slasher movie ever made. I don't know why anyone bothered to put this on DVD. The killer may or may not be the ghost of a 19th century sea captain. Even the DVD commentary is confused about that. You'd have to be a hardcore horror completist to even care. So, I guess we're crazy people, which I think we already knew that. Another review says a cowboy shows up, tells the characters he used to be a sailor, and then leaves. Which I think they also fell asleep during that long monologue like I did. In conclusion, this movie is terrible. Don't watch it. Thank you to TYTD Reviews for helping me figure this mess out. Not a lot of reviewers seem to be able to figure out what the plot was. You may be the only person to ever understand this movie in history. It's been released 4 times somehow on Betamax, VHS by Vestron, Shriek Show put it on DVD, and somehow it has a Spanish language dub under the name Sabato 14, Saturday the 14th, and it's also a 5th time been released under the name The Outing. God, people have way too much time on their hands. Thank you for watching, and as always, I shall try to do better next time. Bonus clip this time. Let's have Woody Strode, the cowboy ghost sailor, back when he was a pro wrestler.
Here's Woody Strode now coming loose with a few offensive tactics. There's another knee lift. He's trying a Boston Crab on Eric Pomeroy. Pomeroy gave up. He gave up on it.